Yeah! Hey there, FBI. I'm Keith Ingram.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York. That's what everyone always calls me.
Okay, York. No problem, man.
So, Keith, I hear you run the Milk Barn convenience store.
That's right, man. Rock and roll!
Do you sell raincoats there by any chance?
Yeah, but nobody ever buys them, though. Anyone who wears one of them, I say, just ain't a rocker. But you know, that scar of yours, now that scar rocks.
This scar rocks? Now that's a new one. I'll drop by your store soon, and let's talk then.
Yeah, cool, man. Rock on, FBI!
Good evening, Agent.
Good evening, Mr.
Brian, the gravekeeper. Brian.
Mr. Bryan. I like the retro look. Auditioning for Little Grave on the Prairie?
Anna. Oh, she was so beautiful. Too soon. Too soon to go to the grave. So sad. So sad.
I totally agree. That's why I'm here, looking for the one who did it. Were you close to her?
Anna, her smile, so warm. Anna, blonde hair, so bright.
There's a graveyard somewhere in town, Zach. I'm not excited about the idea, but maybe we should at least check it out.
You're Isaac and Isaiah's mother?
Yes, I'm Lily.
I'm FBI Special Agent...
Agent York, right?
You are good.
The handsome special agent from the big city. The facial scar trademark. The way you introduce yourself. Everyone's talking about you.
Well, I can't say much about the scar. But the way I introduce myself, Zach and I consider it a kind of ritual of sorts.
Everyone has their own rituals. It's like always leaving the house left foot first. It's one of those things.
You certainly are a funny one.
So, have you noticed anything strange or out of place recently?
Well, Becky's been taking a couple of days off from work, but aside from that, I heard she was in shock after the murder. But,
You think there's something else?
well, I took the boys along to see her today. She's always so kind to them, and they love seeing her too. But she took in the boys and told me to wait outside. Something about a special secret between just the three of them. I just couldn't understand it.
Now that's interesting. Thank you, Lily.
Perhaps we should give Becky a visit tomorrow, Zach.
So you're the FBI agent, are you?
I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
I'm the general. I fought for my country in the Vietnam War.
A real-life war hero. So why are you living here?
Soldier, this is my hometown. After a man returns from war, there's no place to go other than his hometown. Your little speech, you mentioned the raincoat killer.
Was that a problem?
You imbecile. The raincoat killer's no myth, not mere folklore, not a fairy tale. It's based on actual events that happen in this town.
It is. I'm interested. Can you tell me more about this?
You kids today don't even know how to ask for something right. Soldier, if you want to hear more, you come to my office.
He literally exudes raw power, Zach. Despite the credibility issues, we should give him a visit.
One thing, though. He calls himself a general, but isn't that a sergeant's uniform?
Can't believe you thought I was a suspect, Agent York. I'm still in shock.
Agent York, you making any progress?
Of course, plenty. Tell me, Usha, when is Anna's funeral?
That's still undecided. Sally isn't really in any condition to do it right now.
Her mother? I don't see her here.
Anna was her sole reason for living after her husband was deceased. Well, she's probably huddled up at home.
And I should probably take some time to pay her a visit.
Well, yes, you should. And I'd appreciate it if you could, too. But don't go too hard on her, okay?
Are you getting closer to catching the murderer?
Hello again, Fiona. Good to see you here.
Well, Dr. Johnson told me to be here. He said it would be important.
Well, that was good advice. He may be young, but he seems like a wise man.
Oh, and he's a very hardworking person, too. Everyone thinks he's some kind of weirdo, but I don't think so at all. People don't understand why he's in the autopsy room all day. But I do. He's doing research to
make the world a better place in the future. You know, he already made a fortune in LA with his career.
I did not know that.
You didn't? Oh, the doctor is a very rich man. He has a really big house over by the lake.
Amazing, Zach. You must be loaded. Rich and young. A perfect combination.
But you don't get that feeling from him at all, do you? He doesn't show it. That's one of the things I like best about him.
Well, I could have been fooled if it weren't for you. Thanks for the valuable information, Fiona.
Mr. Morgan, you're quite an impressive public speaker.
Really? Thank you, Polly.
You reminded me a little of a play I saw when I was younger.
What kind of play?
I'm talking about back when this place was still called the Mercury Theater. When I was young, I used to come here often with my husband. God rest his soul. We'd come on the weekend to see the latest play. He'd always pretend to be uninterested, but I could tell he was excited inside. He was just one of those kind of guys, really, thinking about it now.
Really, Polly? So what's your favorite play?
Oh, well, I like so many. There was one in particular, but I can't recall the name anymore. Oh, it was a very famous one, too.
Something by Shakespeare?
Oh, no, nothing. One more bell that doesn't ring anymore. I've always been forgetful about the plays we used to see anyway. Oh, and my husband would get angry at me for forgetting what we saw. He'd go on for hours retelling what the play was about. His eyes were so sparkling, like a happy young boy.
I see. So, what's your favorite play?
Oh, I almost forgot, Mr. Morgan. We're going to have another guest soon. I have to get back and get things ready. Sorry for having to hurry away. I'll see you back at the hotel.
Zach, I think she could embarrass the toughest of the FBI's interrogators. She successfully avoided answering my question, Zach. Amazing.
Jim, thanks for your help in the forest. How are Isaac and Isaiah?
They're fine.
They really seem to love their grandpa.
Well, I guess they do, son. I want to keep them away from the filth of the material world as much as I can. Their mother agrees, which is why she lets me take care of them so often.
And that's why I want you to solve this case quickly and go home. Those rumors about that scar of yours do more damage than good around here.
I guess I reek of the material world, don't I? I have to, in order to do my job. But I understand what you mean.
I'd think the same if I was born in a place like this, Zach.
Agent Morgan, I'd like to let everyone go home now. Let's go outside.
Well then, Agent York, do you have any plans for this evening?
I was going to head back to the hotel and go over my notes. I need to contact HQ and give a progress report, too.
Okay, now let's call it a day here.
Sounds good?
Contact my office when you finish your report. We'll pick you up tomorrow morning. Diane, the owner of the art gallery, should be back soon.
All right, then, let's do that.
Hold on, Agent York. We're going out to eat at Nick's Diner. Would you like to come with us?
The diner? That might be nice.
Thomas is a great cook, but Nick is the real deal. No visit to Greenvale is complete without eating at the A&G.
A very appealing proposition. Zach, what do you think? We can always go back to the hotel after eating dinner, or go directly back to the hotel. You decide, Zach.
I've been sheriff here for a long time now, and this is the worst murder I've ever seen.
Our town is a little odd in some ways, but it's usually a peaceful place.
We had our fair share of cases, but just the regular stuff. A high school kid shoplifting from the milk barn, maybe. Or some hot-headed kids fighting, fueled on liquor. Nothing more than that.
Agent York, what kind of cases have you dealt with in the past?
Not much different from those you've just mentioned. The case I was on until last month, well, the guy killed 7 girls in a 3-month period. He sawed their heads off from the neck and took them back to his house. He cleaned the skulls up and used them as utensils in his daily life, to eat from or as a urine cup. He hated women. That was his way of dealing with it. He'd fill skulls with ice, cola, and rum, and he'd down it in one gulp. For him, that was a holy ritual. The question of his mental state was the pivotal point in the court case.
Oh, man.
For me, he was insane. 100%. Drinking from the skulls, well, that is one thing. But those he had used to relieve himself, he would then just use them to drink from, too. Yeah, that was too much for me. It's just not sanitary.
Not sanitary. That's probably not the problem for most of us.
What else? Ah, yes. An ingenious law school student raped over 800 victims. That was an nasty one.
Thank you, Agent York. Now, let's talk about something else.
You don't want to hear anymore? That's a shame, isn't it, Zach? I was just about to get to the good part, too.
It sounds like you live in a totally different world. You're like an elite agent who just jumped out from a movie or something. In your eyes, we must look like we're just playing cops and robbers. I give up. I can't compete with you.
Don't say that, Emily. The cases you have solved are all full-fledged crimes. A crime is a crime. Size doesn't matter. There is no big and small. Crimes always have a criminal and a victim. No victim will ever welcome a crime, no matter what its size. So, fundamentally, there is no difference in size.
Well said, Agent Morgan. We work day and night to preserve peace and order in this town. You understand that, right?
Of course, but still, I don't view shoplifting and Anna's murder as the same level of crime.
Me neither. I never even dreamt that such a thing could ever even happen in this town. I keep on expecting to see Anna here in this diner, waiting on tables.
Excuse us, Agent Morgan. We should have made dinner a more uplifting experience. Let's call it a night.
Okay. Good night, then. So, where shall we go next?
Okay then, Zach. Let's go back over our progress. First, the victim, Anna's death. She was found hanging from a tree in the forest. She was cut open with a knife from her chest down to her stomach. That was the direct cause of death. The strangulation marks and skull fracture were caused after death. Her tongue was also bit off, and I found something inside her mouth. Do you remember what that was, Zach? That's right. We found the same red seed in her mouth. According to Emily, it was raining when Anna was killed, but traces of tears were still evident in her face. Which means the perpetrator killed Anna under a roof in the lumber mill, and then carried her body into the woods after it stopped raining. We found numerous important pieces of evidence at the site of the crime. A total of 4 things.
Meat prints in the grass, wood chip with metal dust, a photo of a man with a tattoo on his back. One other thing. Do you remember what that was, Zach?
That's right. A broken stiletto heel. Combining this with the other evidence suggests that 2 people came into contact with Anna's body prior to it being discovered by us. Those being the perpetrator who killed Anna and this stiletto heel. There is also a possibility that a third party carried Anna to the woods. That means we could be dealing with 3 people. 2 or 3 people. In any case, Miss Stiletto Heel may have vital information. We need to find her next. We didn't use forensic methods, but we're still closing in on the criminal. Have I forgotten anything?
Ah, of course. The marks on her hand tell us that Anna was gripping something when she died. Do you remember that, Zach?
What do you think she was holding on to?
That's wrong, Zach. Come on. Answer again. What do we suspect Anna was holding?
That's right. A round object. The marks on her hand suggest a peace mark. The man in the photo found in the woods had a tattoo of an upside-down peace mark on his back. These 2 could well be related. But we don't know for sure. Next, townfolk. A few are worthy of special attention. Carol McLean, the singer and bar owner. She's Thomas's sister. Then there's Nick Cormack, the owner of the diner. Both of them seem to be hiding something. There's Diane, the owner of the art gallery, who's out of town. Then we have problematic, old, rich, and eccentric Harry. Both will be tough to crack. Well, we just have to go one by one. I've been thinking, one of the biggest rewards here is the fantastic food. Enjoying food is cultural, and yet it's also a bit uncivilized. It's interesting how good food motivates me to work harder during investigations.
Oh, and on Emily's back. It was strange to me. Hey, don't take that the wrong way, Zach. I wasn't getting all excited or anything. But it did make me feel strange. Nostalgic and sad almost.
It's starting to rain. I think this case may take a while.
Are you thirsty?
You must be very thirsty.
You only take milk with your coffee?
Coffee with milk. That's all.
Who are you?
My name is Becky.
What are you doing here?
My name is Becky.
Anna's friend?
My name is Becky.
After your throat is quenched, you must do what you must do.
Take a sip of coffee and go.
Huh?
That's me. That's me when it happened. Zach, this case looks like it's directly related to us. I do not know how yet, but I do know I need some coffee.
George said he'd have someone pick us up in the parking lot. Let's get some breakfast with Polly first.
Whoa there!
Did you need something?
No, I was just passing by. I didn't think anybody else was here other than Polly. The door opening like that it surprised me, that's all. I'm Kaysen, Forrest Kaysen. Nice to meet you. I travel a whole lot, you see, selling tree saplings. Just the usual salesman doing the usual road trip. Sometimes I feel, I don't know, like a jolly old bumblebee spreading pollen.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan.
I get it. You're the special agent Scarface that everyone's yakking about. Nice to meet you, Francis.
Special Agent Scarface? I'd need a bigger scar to live up to that name. Call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
What? You got it. York.
Is this your first visit here, then?
No, sir. Actually, I've been coming here once or twice a year for a while now. I don't get much business here, but it sure does make a fine vacation. I mean, it's a gorgeous hotel at a bargain price. It's so relaxing in these parts, too. Oh, I just love all the nature. I feel so relaxed here. Say hi to Willie. Oh, don't worry, he's a good boy. Do you like dogs?
Hey, Willie. How are you doing?
He's pretty smart, too. Oops, before I forget, let me give you this. It's just a sample of what I sell.
Thank you. How kind of you.
So, what brings the old FBI out here? Sounds like more than just a vacation.
A murder, actually. The perpetrator is still out there. Try to stay indoors at night and during the rain. We want to prevent it from happening again, okay?
Oh, it's a darn shame. Places like this used to be the safest in America.
Could I ask you something? Do you know a lot about seeds?
Seeds? Gardening, huh? You don't look like a green thumb, but let me tell you, though. I'm pretty much the only one who can make those saplings sprout. There's a trick to it that can't really be passed on, you know? It's like, the secret of making a good smoked ham, something like that. But you know, once they sprout, you don't need to do much. You can leave it be, and why, it'll turn into a big tree no matter what happens. Kind of like those stocks that politicians buy that just keep growing and growing. Well, you just wait and see. This town is gonna love them. Right. We were just about to go take a morning stroll, so I'll get going. Good luck now with that case.
Thanks.
Zach, do you remember what the coffee said? Forrest Kaysen. F.K.
This show has just begun. Breakfast looks as good as yesterday's.
I hope you enjoy it.
I will, and thank you. I just met Kaysen, actually.
Ah, good old Mr. Kaysen. Did he give you a sapling?
As a matter of fact, he did. Don't tell me he gives one to everyone he meets.
No, only to the people he feels comfortable with. He told me. He must feel really comfortable with me.
He must. Is there anyone he hasn't given a sapling to?
Mustard? Okay, I'll just get it from the kitchen then.
No, mustard has nothing to do with it. I was wondering if you know of anyone that Kaysen didn't give a sapling to.
Oh, too much pepper. I did think it might be. I'm sorry.
Ah, Zach, I forgot. We'll never get anything out of her, will we? Forrest Kaysen. He's hiding something. You think so too, right, Zach? But no need to rush. All secrets are hidden until they are inevitably divulged. The powers of entropy. The world exposes everything and causes chaos. Just like this coffee.
Good morning, Agent Morgan. Did you sleep well?
Morning, George. Dreamland was quite nice.
You do look well rested. Oh, I was up practically all night doing paperwork. Thomas helped me out, so I was able to go home and get some sleep, but not enough.
Diane got back into town late last night. We should give her a visit.
Which means going to the art gallery, correct?
She lives and works in the office there, so it's the only place to find her. The gallery is open from 10 to 1700.
Time for some art appreciation. Cultural activity in such a small countryside town. Amazing, Zach.
The gallery is called Muses Gallery. The Muses were the 9 daughters of the goddess of memory in Greek mythology.
It's just like Diane to name it that way.
Is she that intelligent a woman?
Maybe. You'll see for yourself soon enough.
Did you see how Emily reacted, Zach? I sense that this Diane is not popular among other women. I can't wait to meet her.
The gallery is on the north side of town. Take the road along the lake and go north.
An art gallery in such a small town. Am I prejudiced to think that it doesn't seem to fit?
Greenvale and every small town has every right to enjoy art.
That's right. Small.
We'll finish our chat later. Let's take a walk around here.
If you're wandering off, then we'll go on ahead. We don't have time to mess around.
Okay, I'll meet up with you later.
Agent York, the gallery is open from 10 to 1700. Please keep that in mind and don't be late.
lot of good-looking women in this town. It's like heaven compared to the town we grew up in. Remember Liz? Prom queen? Elizabeth Scott Moore. She could be royalty with a name like that. But you know, she was like an actress from a B-movie, wasn't she? Bleached blonde hair, too much makeup, clothes showed off her cleavage. That mole by her mouth.
Say, Zach, were you with me back then?
You know, that mole was made for makeup. We happened to be on the same bus once. We saw her drawing on with makeup. I wasn't surprised, I guess. Just impressed that she would go that far to create that image. Do you remember that movie we went to go see that day? I'll give you a hint. It was the fourth in a popular series, and was produced by Menahem Golan's Canon Films.
Figured it out, Zach?
Think it over then. Call it your homework until next time.
Zach, is there something here that you want to check out?
Well, the gallery closes at 1700, but there's no real reason to hurry. We need to pace ourselves for an investigation like this.
Hello?
Tell me, Agent York. You fly all over the country, right? So, what's the strangest thing you've ever eaten?
Good question. Well, this country isn't really known for bizarre cuisine, so I can't really think of anything that would knock your socks off. But the soft-shell crab I ate in Williamsburg was pretty good. And then there was the paddlefish caviar in Mississippi. Both of those were quite amusing.
Wow, just the names sound delicious.
I'll have to pass if all you can say about them is amusing.
Emily, I've eaten some pretty strange things myself, you know.
You, George? Such as?
Fried cicada.
Cicada? As in the insect?
Of course. It was pretty good, too. The cicada population in these parts tends to explode every 17 years or so. It's a special recipe for such times. That's when I ate it. The whole town was infested with cicadas.
I'm glad to say I haven't experienced this cicada population explosion.
Which means it's been at least 10 years since George last tasted cicada. Let's hope this population explosion doesn't happen while we're here, Zach. fourth sequel in a series that started in 1978.
That's right, Zach. It was Superman 4, Quest for Peace.
Lex Luthor was back. It was played by Gene Hackman. That alone made it a must for all us fans. I don't remember much more about it, though. I'm sure there was more trivia about it. Still forget 4. Richard Donner directed 1 and 2. Now those two. I went to see every Richard Donner movie on the day they premiered. Every single one. Goonies, Lost Boys, the Lethal Weapon series, but my favorite has to be Lady Hawk. That was back in 1985. Same year as Goonies. Both Rutger Hauer and Michelle Pfeiffer really shine in that one. But more than anything, it's the story setting that was really good. A love story about a cursed knight that changes into a wolf at night, and a cursed maiden that changes into a hawk during the day.
Very romantic. Don't you think so, Zach?
They can only be together at dusk, right between day and night. Together as humans for only a brief moment. Perfect setting for a fantasy movie.
I just had a thought, Zach.
I really like those movies that have women changing into animals. Can you tell which movie I just remembered?
That's right, Zach. With Nastasia Kinski in the lead role.
That was a fantastic movie. But I better concentrate on driving. We'll finish this later. Stasia Kinski in the lead role and Paul Schrader directed back in 1981. That's right, Zach. Cat People. About a woman who turns into a leopard when she falls in love and then eats the person she loves. I thought it was romantic. Real romance right there, Zach. Stasia was perfect for that role. Casting her made that movie a success. Malcolm McDowell as her brother was also a good call. He's like a panther even without any of that
Oh, Zach, we're here. Let's continue our chat later.
Emily, Mr. FBI agent made it here all by himself.
George, Emily, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm going to talk to Diane alone. You two just wait out here.
What the hell are you singing?
I know, it's very rude of me. I know. But also very important. I always make sure that I meet with the important ones, one-on-one. Otherwise, it's difficult to sense the subtle reactions of the suspect. This is just how I do things, and I'd appreciate your understanding.
But go on then. You're not going to listen to us anyway, are you?
You're starting to understand me, George. Well then, Zach. Let's go and meet Lady Diane.
Hello? Hello?
No reply. Let's take a look around then, Zach.
Hello, Olivia. Do you like art?
Yes, I do. Well, I like trees.
Trees. Okay. Ah, but I see because these are all tree paintings. Do you come here often then?
Well, no. Just sometimes. I'm sorry, I really need to get back to the diner.
Zach, she was lying about something.
She said trees, not paintings of trees. She doesn't need to come here to see trees. There's tons of trees outside. Zach, something is still missing. We need more clues.
Like I said, there's no point in you having this. I can put it to far better use. I'm taking it with me, okay?
That's fine by me then, as you wish. The FBI agent, right? Just wait a moment, please. I'll be right with you.
So there's no way you could have been at the scene of the crime.
That's right. I was drinking at the bar with Nick until early morning. I'm sure if you ask him about it, he'll say the same.
Very well. I'll be sure to do that. One other thing. That argument with Carol just now.
She's always like that. She thinks of me as an enemy. Always bickering at what I say.
Is there any reason for that?
Perhaps because someone she liked ended up with me in my bed?
That would explain it, yes. If I may be so bold, who was the lucky man?
Oh, I sleep with anyone I wish. Anyone I prefer to sleep with. I guess she had her eye on one of them, but I don't know who it was exactly. I could sleep with you, if you like.
I'm flattered by your offer, but I don't think that would be appropriate. You're exactly the kind of woman a man in my job should never get involved with.
Isn't that a shame, darling?
I'll be frank. Right now, you are not a suspect. But both Zach and I are certainly feeling shaky about you.
If you want to remain in the clear, just watch yourself from now on.
Oh, you don't know, do you? Artists and art lovers, we love a good thrill.
Thank you for your help. I have nothing further to ask you at the moment. Goodbye. I had a chat with Diane. She said she was at the bar drinking with Nick at the time of the murder. We need to confirm her story. Let's talk to Nick at the diner.
Very well, Agent Morgan. I have to head back to the department and clear up some paperwork. Go with Emily to the A&G diner.
Okay.
I'll show you the way. The diner's open from 9 to 2100.
Just as we suspected, Zach. Diane is the key to this case. I have a feeling she will lead us right to the criminal.
That's Kaysen. Looks like the show has just begun, and it has an all-star cast. Emily, do you know a man named Forrest Kaysen?
Kaysen? Yes, I know him. The sapling salesman, right? He always uses strange comparisons when he talks.
I'd like to know more about him. What does he do when he comes to town?
He's a salesman, so I guess he sells things? Maybe he comes on vacation. We haven't seen many tourists recently, but he comes pretty often.
Is that all?
Well, now that you mention it, he seems quite friendly with the Ingrams, with Isaac and Isaiah. Maybe you should ask them about Kaysen.
Okay, I will. Emily, don't you find it a bit suffocating to be around George so much?
Well, we aren't always together. And anyway, I've gotten used to him.
Impressive. Women are very adaptable.
No, it's not like that, actually. George is hard-headed, sure, but he's also a hard-working man. That's why the townsfolk trust him so much.
The very epitome of the rural sheriff.
That's right, he isn't some hotshot FBI agent. This place isn't like the city. Everyone knows everyone else.
What about you and Anna? Were you two close?
No, not close, really. I don't seem to have much in common with teenagers nowadays. All they talk about are boys, clothes, and accessories. I don't have much interest in any of those things.
There is a gap between a teenager and being in your 20s.
Everyone's different, that's all. Me and you, too.
Zach, I'm not liking the way this conversation is heading. Let's concentrate on driving instead.
Let's just focus on getting to the diner and cut the chit-chat. Let's just focus on getting to the diner and cut the chit-chat.
The A&G Diner. Wonder what the A and G stand for. Any ideas, Emily?
Nope, I don't know either.
Air and gravity, perhaps? Access and games? Aliens and Godzilla? Who knows?
Is it important to know? Why don't you just ask Nick?
Oh, I will. But first, I need to eat. Wonder what's good here.
Welcome, Mr. Agent.
Hi, Olivia. Let me have your special for today. And some fresh coffee.
Our special today is turkey. A turkey and gravy sandwich. Sound good?
Perfect. Emily, you eat something too. It'll be on the FBI.
Okay then, I'll go all out. I'll have the T-bone steak. I usually can't order it because it's a little too expensive.
Mrs. Olivia Cormack, I am here for Mr. Stewart's lunch. If it is ready, I'd thank you a bunch.
Yes, of course. Just a moment. Here you go. The usual. 1 turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal sandwich.
Sounds like the sinner's sandwich. Self-inflicted punishment to atone for past sins. He's setting an example.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, you should try this wonderful lunch. It's more than a delicious, tasty crunch. So says Mr. Stewart.
No, that's fine. I've just ordered my own lunch.
Mr. Francis York Morgan, that is, Mr. Stewart's order is delicious, I should mention. And Mr. Nick Cormack is a genius for creating this perfection. So says Mr. Stewart.
Still, I have a hunch I might not like it. You sure that sandwich is that good?
Mr. Francis York Morgan, making decisions based on intuitions is always a sign of bad FBI agents. So says Mr. Stewart.
Harry, you're right. I'll give it a try. I can't believe it. This is fantastic. It's really good. Olivia, I'm sorry, but can I change my order? I'll have what Harry's having. Nick and Diane. They hardly make the perfect couple, do they? Is it widely known that they go drinking together, just the two of them?
To be honest, I don't pay attention to these things.
Not into local gossip?
Well, when I moved here, I was still in high school, and I kept wearing the same wild clothes from my school in Seattle. I was young back then. And before I knew it, there were rumors all over the school. She'll screw anyone. That's what they said. Totally unfounded, of course. Anyway, after that, I just sort of chose not to really trust gossip.
I get where you're coming from. I used to dress like a hardcore punk rocker when I was in high school.
You? A punk rocker?
Nobody took my side, even when I had good grades. People rejected me just because of what I wore. I was young back then, too.
Even still, I just don't see you as a punk rocker.
And you laugh? Look at you. No makeup on, dressed in uniform, eating a steak for lunch. Okay, back to work. Let's talk to Nick.
Hey, I'm working here. You can't just stroll into a chef's kitchen.
Then perhaps you would give me your permission to enter.
No! Get the hell out of here!
Zach, everyone has their own sanctuary. Let's leave him in his.
There's something I'd like to confirm with you, Olivia, if that's okay.
Yes. Well, so long as it doesn't take too long.
First, what were you and Nick doing on the night of the murder?
I was here in the diner. Nick said he was going to the bar for a couple of drinks.
Does he go to the bar often, leaving you to hold up the fort?
Yes. He says he enjoys the conversation with Diane. I thought they went drinking again together that night.
Do the three of you ever go drinking together?
Well, you see, I'm really not into art.
And your husband is well versed in the arts then, I take it?
Oh, yes. Looking at art and talking about it is his way of relaxing.
People just aren't what they seem. Like a certain someone who was into punk rock 10 years ago.
You are absolutely right, Emily. But you can be an art lover and a liar at the same time. One more thing, Olivia. You just said that you aren't interested in art.
That's right. And...
So, how come I bumped into you at the art gallery? Didn't seem like Nick brought you there. You were there alone.
Well, I like trees, is the thing. That's why I went there.
Surely you'd be better off in the forest rather than an art gallery then. I think you went to the gallery not to see trees, but to see Diane, right? You don't want to answer. Or perhaps this isn't the right place to ask.
Meet me in the backyard. You can get there from the parking lot. I'll wait for you there for an hour after we close up.
They close at 2100. Should we get something to drink and wait? Agent York, what do we do now?
I want to hear what Olivia has to say. Let's kill time until the diner closes.
Okay, then I'm gonna make a trip back to the department. I'll see you in the backyard later.
Okay, sounds good.
See you later then.
Back about Olivia. I presume she wants to tell us something about Nick and Diane. Let's hope it's not just something for the gossip columns.